Loyalty, you know what I mean? We stand on real deal loyalty. And, you know, sometimes that shit ain't displayed. And this ain't got nothing to do with no label, no paperwork, no QC, no nothing. This got something to do with the three brothers, and that is what it is. Right now, we gonna be the duo till time till.
Cardi B just lit up the internet, and this blast, it's massive. A wild tape leak just popped off out of nowhere, and now Saweetie is going after a jaw-dropping $50 million. What's coming next is pure chaos. Back in 2021, whispers started flying about Offset and Saweetie supposedly linking up while Cardi was pregnant. And those whispers didn't stay quiet for long. People swore the PVO's messy lyric was a slick jab, and the gossip spread like wildfire. But Cardi didn't let it slide. She clapped back publicly, saying, "I know what's going on in my house," and called the whole story crazy lies with no receipts. Here's where it turns into a full-blown circus. Joe Budden brought the rumor right back to life on his podcast, and Offset didn't just deny it, he basically called it all out as nonsense. Then DJ Academics jumped in, dropping names like Ari Fletcher and even Christian Rock. And that's when things got explosive. Turns out Ari's not playing games. She's hitting him with a $50 million lawsuit for defamation and emotional damage. Nobody saw that move coming, but in this industry, when the money slows down, those lawsuits start stacking up fast. And honestly, Ari's been quiet for a minute, so maybe it's time to secure that bag. But let's not forget, before that $50 million bombshell took over, the Saweetie rumor had already been camping out in hip-hop gossip circles since late 2021. And trust me, it wasn't just a simple cheating story. This wasn't just gossip, it was a full-on family betrayal rumor. Back then, Saweetie had just split from Quavo after 2 years of flashy dates, designer bags, iced-out gifts, and picture-perfect Instagram moments. But everything fell apart in March 2021 when TMZ dropped that elevator video, the one showing them tussling over a Call of Duty case. That clip alone had social media in flames. Right after that, the internet got hit with an even wilder claim that Saweetie had hooked up with Offset while he was married to Cardi. The so-called proof came from an unnamed industry insider. No photos, no texts, no hotel sightings, just straight-up chaos. But because Offset already had a history of cheating, remember when Cardi even filed for divorce in 2020 before they made up? The rumor sprinted across the internet faster than he could spit a verse. Then, October 2022 rolled around, and Quavo and Takeoff dropped their joint album Only Built for Infinity Links. Track 4, Messy, had a bar that made the internet stop breathing. F my dog behind my back, but I ain't stressing, not at all. You wanted the gang, you should have said it, we would have blessed it. That one line had people convinced my dog meant Offset, and fan conspiracy theories exploded overnight.
Offset them, what is it? Saweetie, Christian Rock, Ari, like, yo, this is, yo, Offset was piping out chicks that Cardi was supposed to do music.
Quavo later brushed it off, saying people were just overthinking. But by then, the damage was done. Migos soon split, with Quavo dropping hints in interviews about loyalty being broken. The drama simmered for a bit, until 2023, when Offset poured gasoline on the rumor again with his comments. And Joe Budden, plus DJ Academics, reignited it like a torch to dry leaves. After Offset's Joe Budden podcast appearance, DJ Academics jumped on Twitch and went off. No filter. His exact words: Offset effed up Christian, Ari Fletcher, Eddie, and 10 beans from starlets. He claimed Offset was messing with women who were literally dropping "I love you queen" comments under Cardi's Instagram posts. And according to him, some of those women were actually Cardi's own friends. Cardi's been through rumor wars before. Back when Selena Powell claimed she was pregnant with Offset's baby, Cardi went into full denial mode. Later, she admitted she learned not to give lies any energy. In her own words, "People gonna make you worse." So, in classic Cardi fashion, she stayed quiet about Academics' rant, at least in public. But fans were convinced she was moving in silence, collecting receipts behind the scenes. And here's where it gets icy, because insiders are whispering that this so-called naughty tape leak wasn't some random accident. If the whispers are true, it was revenge, plain and simple, calculated to burn bridges so bad that no apology tour could ever fix it. Once academics threw that Offset Saweetie storyline back into the gossip bloodstream, this could have just been another quick internet scandal, but instead, it erupted into a full-blown wildfire because a certain video allegedly surfaced. Now, I've got to tread carefully here because YouTube's rules are strict. But according to multiple industry sources, Cardi B herself is being accused of leaking what's now being dubbed the naughty tape. And the alleged stars of that tape? Offset and Saweetie. If those whispers hold any truth, then this wasn't just revenge. It was a public scorcher meant to leave nothing but ashes behind. The whispers say she wanted to hit 2 targets in one shot, humiliate Offset after years of messy public drama, and shatter Eddie's good girl image right before her new album dropped. But here's where that $50 million bomb explodes. Saweetie isn't just firing back with subliminal tweets. She's allegedly filing a lawsuit against both Offset and Cardi for defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and what her camp is calling calculated career sabotage. Then out of nowhere, Blueface jumps on X and stirs the pot even more, claiming Chrissy and Rock also hooked up with Offset. And not just one time. This wasn't fresh gossip either. He'd already hinted at it months ago during their chaotic baby daddy drama. But now, dropping that tea alongside the Saweetie leak gave the internet the crossover scandal it was craving. Fans are split down the middle. Some say the idea of Cardi leaking a tape is too wild and legally risky, while others believe it fits her history of clapping back hard when betrayed. And it's true. This wouldn't be her first trip to the courtroom. Back in 2022, she won almost $4 million from blogger Tasha K for defamation, proving she's not scared to fight in court, and maybe even play dirty if she feels cornered. The moment news broke about Saweetie's lawsuit, another name shot up the trending list: Quavo. And it wasn't just because of the infamous messy lyric. Sources close to the situation say Quavo could actually be called to testify if this case moves forward, and that's where things could turn ugly fast. On paper, Quavo's not involved in the alleged leak, but as Saweetie's ex, he had a front row seat to how this rumor even started. Industry insiders claim Quavo's been sitting on screenshots, group chat receipts, and texts that back up his original suspicions from 2021 that Offset and Eddie really did link up while he was still with her. Quavo's always felt played, and if he ends up on the stand, insiders say he won't be protecting Offset just because of that fake cousin label. The trust between them has been gone for years, but now it's getting even messier. Word is, Eddie's legal team is also looking into whether they can go after DJ Academics for what they're calling defamatory amplification. That's a new one. Basically, they're saying his repeated public claims helped lock in a false story that trashed her brand. And this wouldn't be the first time Axe's mouth got him tangled in legal drama. Remember when he went at Meg Thee Stallion during the Tory Lanez trial? He dropped so much so-called exclusive info that her lawyers hit him with a cease and desist. Meanwhile, Offset hasn't exactly been on his best behavior either. On that Joe Budden podcast, he took a slick shot at Cardi's new romance with NFL star Stefon Diggs, saying, "None of my exes upgraded after me." Fans tore into him for that, especially with the tape leak scandal back in the spotlight. And if Saweetie's lawsuit actually picks up steam, that little soundbite might get replayed in court as proof of malice and ongoing tension. But here's the wild part. Legal insiders are whispering that if this goes to trial, the witness list could include everyone from Blueface to Chrissy and Rock, maybe even Lil Baby's current girlfriend. The names floating around sound less like a courtroom roster and more like the lineup for Rolling Loud. If Eddie's $50 million lawsuit really makes it to trial, it won't just be Cardi and Offset in the hot seat. This could turn into a courtroom festival of messy testimony, leaked receipts, and career-shaking confessions. From what's already leaked, her legal team is building their case on 3 main pillars: defamation, claiming the leak falsely portrayed her and crushed her brand image, especially with major endorsement deals. She's also pushing the intentional infliction of emotional distress angle, saying whoever leaked that tape did it with the sole purpose of humiliating her and wrecking her emotionally. On top of that, she's claiming economic damage, pointing to canceled contracts and lost performance opportunities that came crashing down after the scandal. Her legal team has allegedly already fired off early discovery requests for digital forensic evidence, meaning they want IP addresses, email metadata, and cloud storage logs pulled to prove Cardi or Offset were behind the leak. And here's where it gets even spicier. Insiders claim Saweetie's lawyer has private messages between her and Offset that could prove intimacy actually happened. Offset has never publicly admitted to it, but if those messages are real and get shown in court, they'd confirm years of rumors and give weight to the claim that Cardi's motive was pure retaliation. Now, about that possible witness list, this is where it gets insane. Whispers say subpoenas could hit Quavo for what he knows about the original rumor and any receipts he's been holding. DJ Academics for allegedly pumping false claims, and both Blueface and Christian Rock for their own public statements about Offset's behavior. If even half of that list shows up in court, this trial's gonna have as much entertainment value as legal weight. And if the forensic evidence ties Cardi to the leak, she could face civil and criminal penalties. In California, the non-consensual distribution of intimate images is a crime that can carry jail time. Even if the criminal charge doesn't stick, a $50 million civil judgment could financially devastate her, especially since she's still chasing down the millions she won from Tasha K, who hasn't exactly been quick to cut the check. Offset wouldn't walk away clean either. His whole brand could get dragged through the mud, and labels hate messy scandals when big legal payouts and endorsement deals are on the line. And here's where the story twists even tighter. There's a rumor making the rounds that someone inside Cardi's own camp might have been the one to send that tape out, turning this from a revenge scandal into a full-blown betrayal story. And here's the plot twist no one saw coming. Multiple unnamed insiders are saying the leak might not have come straight from Cardi's phone, but from someone close to her. According to an exclusive, a former assistant in Cardi's circle has been quietly talking at NYC industry events, claiming they handled certain files for her, including intimate clips, and that one of those files somehow ended up in the wrong hands. What's still unclear is whether this assistant was fired, left on bad terms, or was simply chasing clout. But if the story checks out, it cracks this whole case wide open. Even if Cardi didn't hit send herself, she could still be liable if the leak is traced back to her possession of the file. And Saweetie's lawyers could start dragging Cardi's team into depositions. That would turn this into not just a revenge play, but possibly a setup from within. Industry chatter says the insiders are split into two camps. One believes Cardi confided in a trusted team member about the clip, and they went rogue for a payday, or to hurt her. The other insists this is just a cover story, that Cardi orchestrated the leak herself, but now needs a fall person to take the legal hit. And here's what's interesting. Offset hasn't said a single word about the assistant angle. No denial, no jokes, nothing. That silence is fueling even more speculation. Either he knows it's true, or he's staying quiet to avoid tossing more gasoline on a burning building. But if Saweetie's legal team can prove that someone in Cardi's inner circle had access to that file and shared it, even without her direct orders, it could still strengthen their entire case. Under California law, negligent distribution can still land you in civil trouble if you didn't take reasonable steps to protect the material. But here's the real kicker. There's talk that another celebrity, someone who's publicly cool with both Saweetie and Cardi, might have been the middleman who handed the clip to the gossip blogs. If that name drops in court, this could go down as one of the biggest celebrity betrayals of the decade. The streets are buzzing with this middleman rumor. The tape allegedly didn't go straight from Cardi's phone or her assistant to the blogs. Instead, an industry friend, someone friendly with both women, allegedly played courier. Online gossip detectives think they've narrowed it down to two main suspects. One, a female rapper who's been on the same festival lineups as both Cardi and Saweetie over the past year. And two, a fashion influencer who runs in both women's PR circles, with a past track record of leaking private celebrity material to blogs for a cut of the ad revenue. And here's the legal bomb. If Saweetie's lawyers can prove a third party distributed the clip, they can still tie it back to Cardi by showing she was the original source. Even indirectly, that would blow up any "I never sent it to her enemies" defense, because if someone in her circle did it for her, the liability could still land in her lap. This is where the conspiracy theories spin out of control. Some fans think the middleman move was deliberate sabotage, designed to pit Cardi and Saweetie against each other and weaken both of their brands at the same time. And when you think about it, Saweetie's been on the edge of a major label push for years, and Cardi's gearing up for her next album cycle. Now both are tangled in a scandal that makes them look petty and distracted. Guess who stands to gain from all this? The competition. And yes, some fan theories are pointing straight at female rap rivals who have stayed suspiciously quiet through the entire storm. That's why, even though Saweetie's lawsuit is technically about a leak and defamation, it could easily turn into the stage where years of grudges, rivalries, and betrayals spill out under oath. One thing is clear. Whether Cardi leaked that tape herself, an assistant went rogue, or a so-called friend played courier, the fallout is massive. Saweetie's $50 million lawsuit isn't just about a payout. It's about reputation, career survival, and making an example out of anyone who tries to take her down. For Cardi and Offset, this is nothing short of a nightmare. Cardi is still waiting on a multi-million-dollar judgment from the Tasha K case, and Offset's solo career is still trying to find stable ground after Migos. Now his name is back in the headlines, and for all the wrong reasons. If they choose to settle, the real truth might never surface, just like the original 2021 rumor that started it all. But if this goes to trial, expect receipts, text messages, DMs, and witness testimony that will make Messi sound like a bedtime story. And here's the wild card. If that middleman's name gets dropped in open court, the internet won't just blow up, it might implode. The ripple effect could shake the rap game for years, leaving no one untouched. The real question now isn't just whether Saweetie will win her case, it's whether Cardi's inner circle might flip on her, whether Offset would throw Cardi under the bus to save himself, and whether Quavo will finally confirm the cheating rumor that started this entire firestorm. Because if any of those things happen, we're not talking about just another celebrity scandal. We're talking about a career-ending chain reaction. So tell me, do you think Cardi leaked those tapes on purpose? Was this a setup from the inside? Or is someone in the industry pulling strings to keep both Cardi and Saweetie distracted and off their game? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm reading all of them, and trust me, the theories are already getting wilder by the minute. This case is still developing, and every new detail is messier than the last. The next chapter? It's coming, and it's going to be even hotter than what we've seen so far. If you've been locked in with me for this deep dive, do me a favor, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this with your people so we can keep the receipts flowing. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single update. I'll see you in the next one, and trust me, you don't want to miss it.